I sense a budding romance, I think. My coffee says, hi, Samuel. Is that weird? Am I the only one? Probably not. Let's see, let's use my context clues. Okay. It looks like it's gonna be a beautiful day outside, and I just really want to spend some time outside, so we're gonna go for a little bit of a walk, and we're gonna be bringing my current read along with me, which is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I just started this book a couple of days ago, and so far, I mean, it's been pretty good. I keep reading it at night, so I keep unfortunately falling asleep while I'm reading it, but I don't think that's the book's fault. I think I'm just a little tired. I'm also sick right now, so I think as soon as I get cozy laying on the couch under a blanket and reading a cozy book, I feel like I just fall asleep so fast. So hopefully me reading this in the morning will get me a bit more into it and paying more attention to it. It's really cute so far. It's very atmospheric. I have had this book on my shelf for almost a year now, I think, maybe even longer, and I've been told so many times that this book is really good. I know it's a series. I think there's a trilogy to this book, and Heather Fawcett also just came out with another book about like a cat cafe, I think, so that also sounds nice and cozy. But I'm gonna be reading this book right now. I don't have too many more books on my TBR. Well, I say that, and I actually still have like 12. I've talked about this before, but I'm trying to read all of my books on my TBR before I buy any new books. Unfortunately, I did buy Ninth House and Hellbent, the special editions. I did buy those off of Pango Books, but I don't think I'm gonna count those. I think I officially have decided that those don't count because I already read them. They're not adding to my physical TBR, so I don't think they should count. I want to walk to a local coffee shop, but there's not one in walking distance from me, unfortunately. And I really just don't want to drive to a coffee shop. I want to walk because it's just so nice out. It's spring. So we're going to be going to Starbucks, which is okay. We're going to be starting/continuing this book. I'm only about 40 pages in, so I'm really still only at the start. Nothing's really happened yet, but I'm really looking forward to reading this book. I think I've talked about this already, maybe, I don't remember. I've talked about it on my Instagram quite a few times, but this is the bag that I crocheted, and I'm so proud of it. I have talked about this so many times. People are probably like, Megan, we get it. You made it, okay? It's not that impressive, but I am proud of it. I am proud of myself. This is big. It took me forever. Don't be fooled. This took me like, I think over a month, like 5 or 6 weeks, start to finish. So it did take me a while, but I'm really, really proud of it. And I'm really proud of myself. Okay, let's go for a walk. Unfortunately, I did not stay at the coffee shop as long as I wanted to. I have been sick for the past couple days just from traveling, and I have now this like lingering tickle cough thing in my throat, and it was totally fine on the walk there and all this morning. And then as soon as I sat down, I like got the tickle sensation in my throat, and I went into a coughing fit, and I felt just really bad for being there with other people around. So I decided to leave because I didn't really want to be sitting in a cafe and bothering other people if I had to cough or something. So I walked back. And then on the walk back, I didn't cough at all. It's like my body knows that I don't want to cough in front of people or in public, and then I do. But anyway, I think it's so funny. My Starbucks app constantly uses Sam's name, and I don't understand why, because the app is under my name, like it's my account, but we use a card that's in his name to like load the account. So I'm assuming that they take his name from the card that's loaded into the account, but it's my name on the account, and nowhere does it say Sam. But every single time I go now, it comes out as Samuel. And it's just, I feel really weird going up when I'm by myself and taking the coffee that says Samuel, because I mean, that's not me. It just strikes me as so strange because I don't understand why they take the name that's on the credit card and not the name that's on the account. I don't know. I just think that's really funny. So my coffee says, hi, Samuel. I got the toasted coconut cream cold brew. It's so good. I love the coconut. Very good drink. I did get like a chapter of reading done, so I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere. Not finally, I'm only 50 pages in, but I'm gonna sit here and read for a little bit longer. I'm excited to see where it goes. I have a feeling I'm gonna like this Bumblebee character. I like the way he talks. There's so many words that I don't know in here that I have to look up, like sobriquet. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know what that means. And I use my phone to film, so I need to look it up. Sobriquet. Let's see, let's use my context clues. Okay. Now, I have never once suggested he call me M, and am in fact accustomed to greeting the sobriquet with a stony glare. Sobriquet. So like an unwelcome greeting, maybe, is what I'm assuming is what it means. Let's see if I'm right. So I pronounced it right. It's sobriquet. Sobriquet. It just means a nickname. So the unwelcome part was from the context. Sobriquet just means a moniker or a nickname. Now you know. It has been a few days. I have been reading this book by the pool. I got some flowers from Trader Joe's when I went grocery shopping, and it really is truly starting to feel like spring. I'm so happy about it. I've sat by the pool for the past 2 days reading this book, and it has just been such an atmospheric experience. If you've read this book before, you know that it takes place in the fall and the winter, actually. So it probably sounds weird that I'm describing this as like a springtime read, but I do think the way that this story is described and the way that it's being told is kind of spring-ish. I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. Emily Wilde is the main character, and she's essentially a professor at Cambridge University, and she is collecting all of this data and going to different places, collecting data about all of these different fairies in different parts of the world, and she's essentially writing her own encyclopedia of fairies. That's what this book is basically about, and she is spending her time all on this one island. I do not know how to pronounce it. It's like a Scandinavian island. I don't know, is it an island? Yeah, she gets dropped off on a boat. It's a Scandinavian island, and I could not tell you how to pronounce. The fairies that she encounters are not always the nicest, so the townsfolk in this island are kind of struggling with some of the fairy encounters that have been going on, so she is kind of on a mission to help them, but her main mission is for her book. I am on page 282, and this is like a 340 page book-ish. 317 pages, so I am very close to the end. I have about 40 pages to go. I'm really enjoying it. I don't think the ending is going to be a big shocker. I do know that this is a trilogy, I think. There are at least 2 more books in this series that I know of, but I'm also not expecting anything crazy to be at the ending either. I definitely think that this is a very cozy fantasy, atmospheric read. It takes place in the winter, but I feel like it gives spring. The descriptions that she gives of the fairies and kind of what's going on. She's in a cozy little cottage in this town, and even though it's the depths of winter and they're in like feet worth of snow, and there's the fairies that they're encountering are like ice fairies. It's very much winter in the book, but I feel like it's a good read for spring. I think I'm on track to give this book maybe like a 3.75 to a 4. I definitely enjoy it. I don't know if I'll be thinking about this book all the time, but I do really love the banter between the 2 main characters in this book. I think I'm feeling a 3.75 right now. I think that sounds accurate to what I'm feeling, but we'll see. I'll probably finish this book either today or tomorrow, I'm hoping. Hello again. It has been a couple of days. I said I was going to give this book around 3.75 to 4 stars, and that's exactly what I did land on. I landed on a 3.75, and I really did enjoy this book. It wasn't anything super special to me, unfortunately. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything that I disliked about it. It just wasn't extremely captivating, but I did thoroughly enjoy it. I had a good time. I enjoyed learning about the characters, following Emily Wilde through her studies and
exploration of the island and learning about the fairies there. And one of my favorite things about this book was definitely the side characters. I loved Bamblebee. I thought his personality was a good match with Emily Wilde's personality. They both kind of opposites in a way. Like, they are both colleagues and professors at Cambridge University, but Emily is much more blunt, much more straightforward, much more doesn't really joke around, isn't super sociable or personable, while Bamblebee, on the other hand, is extremely sociable, extremely personable. I don't want to say he's nice and Emily's mean, because it's definitely not the case. Like, they're both pretty nice. If anything, Bamblebee is actually a bit meaner than you would expect given his demeanor and his personality and everything, but the two of their dynamics together is just, it was really cute in my opinion. My hair's falling out. So I think where I'm feeling at a 3.75 really does make sense for this book. I do think I will continue the series at some point. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen anytime soon, just because it isn't one of my all-time favorite reads, you know, but I did really like the setting. I really liked the characters. It's pretty much just a cozy fantasy with a tiny sprinkle of romance in there. It's not really, I wouldn't even call it romance at all, but it is cozy fantasy for sure. I do think there's a lot more world building that I could see coming in the future books with this book, or in the future books of this series. I think all the books are out. I think it's just a trilogy. I'm not sure if there's going to be any more after that, but I do think that there is a lot of potential to do a lot of world building here, and that is one thing that I really enjoy in a fantasy book, is the world building. So where you kind of are just leisurely following the setting and the plot of what's going on. Maybe that's why it wasn't a higher rated book for me. I don't know, it wasn't a super in-depth book. You didn't really dive deep into the characters' thoughts and feelings, and you didn't really dive deep into the world of the fairies either. So for that reason, it's not a super amazing book to me, but I did still enjoy it. I had an enjoyable time reading this book, and I thought it was really cozy and cute and good for spring, even though it takes place in the winter, like I said. So, like you saw already, I did start my next book, which is Phantasma. I know it's another fantasy, but this is a romantasy. It is Trials. I'm assuming high stakes. I'm only, where am I at? I'm at page 45 right now, so I'm only 45 pages in. But so far, I'm really liking it. I do have high hopes based on what I've read so far. I think that this is going to be something that I'm going to devour and love. I already love the two characters. Our two main characters are Ophelia and her sister, what is it? Hold on. Genevieve. Is it Genevieve? Yeah. So you're following Ophelia. She is the narrator of this book, the main character of this book, I believe, and it's her sister, Genevieve. So I'm still at the beginning of the book, so I don't really know too much, but I do know that it is a trials type situation. Phantasma is the game that the trials take place in, I believe. And basically what happens at the very beginning of the book is that Ophelia and Genevieve wake up to find that their mother has passed away, and they come from a line of necromancers. Is that what it's called? Yeah, necromancers, which are mortal paranormal beings. So they are magic wielders, and how the magic works in their family is that it kind of follows the bloodline, or it follows the I can't think of the word. Her grandmother had the magic. The grandmother, when she passed away, it passed to their mother, and now their mother just passed away, so it's passing to Ophelia, and she has to kind of perform this ritual in order to inherit her mother's magic. So they are known in the town for performing duties of necromancers. I don't know what that entails exactly, but it's kind of like I guess people come to them if they want to talk to their deceased family members, and they sometimes will, or something like that. I'm not really sure. Again, have not gotten too far into the book, but so far Ophelia has inherited her mother's magic, and they are discovering that there's some sort of financial issues with their manor, and that's where I'm at. So that's as far as I've gotten, but I really love Genevieve's character. She's just very quick and kind of snarky. I believe they're both in their early 20s. I think they said Ophelia is 23 or something. I do like that I'm not going to be reading another fantasy book where the main female character is like 15, 16 years old. Like, I do kind of like that she's in her 20s, you know? She's a bit older. Yeah, I have no idea where this is gonna go, other than the fact that I'm assuming she is entered into a game somehow. I don't know where that comes into play yet. But there's talk about these ghosts that Ophelia is able to see, and there's talk of the veil between like ghosts who cross over versus not crossing over, and just their talk of these ghosts and the talk of the veil. It reminds me so much of Ninth House, and if you don't know, that is my favorite trilogy, is Ninth House, and it's really making me want to read it again, which I'm going to do. I'm going to be rereading Ninth House this year before Deadbeat comes out. I've talked about this so many times, I feel like, but this book is just really reminding me of it, and so I feel like I have high hopes just because it has elements of what I like in a fantasy book, so that's a good thing. That's a normal thing. That's very normal. But anyways, I'm gonna read for a little bit. I do have a Pilates class in like an hour and a half. I have to leave in about an hour and a half, so I think I'm just probably gonna read a little bit before I leave. I think that this might go quickly, which is okay because the second book is also on my TBR for this year as well, which is Enchantra. This is I think it's a trilogy. I may have heard that somewhere. I thought it was just a duology. I thought it was Phantasma and Enchantra, but I think I heard that there's a third one coming out. Very excited for this one. I'm gonna get to reading. Oh, I just got out of Pilates and okay. Alrighty. Okay. So I just got out of Pilates and I always feel so good after I get out of Pilates. It's so refreshing, and it's a hot Pilates, so I'm sweating the whole time that I'm in there, but it feels so refreshing in a weird way. I mean, I don't know, workout classes are like that. I feel like I can't speak today. I've been having some issues with my words, but anyway, when I was wiping down my station, I realized that my nails started to lift. The gel is starting to lift from my nail, which is really annoying. I hate when it does that. It lifts from the back, but it's still attached on the tips. And I mean, they are pretty grown out. I was hoping that I could make these last until, I think, like 2 weeks from now. And then I was going to do, I think, green for like a very spring kind of color. This one definitely does not have 2 weeks left in it. It's already lifting, so there's definitely not 2 weeks left of that nail, but that's okay. I don't really get them done very often, but I do love having them done. I actually love watching them grow out too, like seeing how much my nail has grown. I almost feel like that is more satisfying to see than actually having a set of nails that are fresh and done. You know what I mean? Is that weird? Am I the only one? Probably not. Oh yeah, so Phantasma. So I read up to page 101, and it has started. Like, the game of Phantasma, the place of Phantasma is starting. I'm very intrigued. We met a character. I hope we meet more characters. Like, I don't know if it's just because I read it last month, and if you don't know how long that book is, it is 1,200 pages long. 1,200 pages long. So, after reading it, and right now I'm also listening to 11/22/63, I don't know, I guess I'm just reading Stephen King a lot right now for some reason, but after reading a 1,200 page book, and now starting an 800 page book where the story is just, honestly, really slow, the book It was really slow. I would not recommend it, but for other reasons I wouldn't recommend it, just saying. Anyway, that's not the point. But so after reading a book, and I listened to an audio, but still, after listening to that book, and it was such a slow-paced book, fully character-driven, like deep character-driven story, and now jumping to a romantasy that is, we're 100 pages in, we're already like jumping into the main plot. I was like, whoa. It was almost a little bit of whiplash. And I also, after reading Emily Wilde, which was a very slow story also, it wasn't very fast-paced, but it wasn't supposed to be fast-paced because the plot wasn't high stakes at all. I feel like, wow, we're moving so fast, but I think it's just because the previous few books that I have read were a bit slower plots, and so this one feels so much faster. I don't know if I just read it a lot faster. I don't know. I think I'm just actually becoming a faster reader, not necessarily the actual speed in which I'm reading, just how quickly I'm consuming books, and I think maybe that's what I'm feeling. I don't know. Not a bad thing at all. I'm not upset that it's fast-paced. It's just not what I'm used to in the past couple of reads that I've been reading, so. But I'm really liking it. I'm really intrigued by this, what was his name? We just met a character, and I'm really intrigued by him. And there's a cat. There's a ghost cat. Yeah, so I'm excited to read, hopefully a little bit more tonight, and I'll have another update for you guys later, but I'm gonna go home, shower, and then hopefully, I think we're going to dinner, so I think it's just gonna be a relaxing
evening tonight, nothing too crazy, but maybe I'll get some more reading done.
Okay, I am back home. I just had one of the most delicious iced lattes I think I've had here yet. I am on page 313 of Phantasma. I'm about to start night 6. I am actually really, I don't know why I said actually, I'm just really enjoying this book. It's not surprising. This is a high stakes romantasy, games and trials book. I love it. It makes sense that I do because it's exactly what I like in a book, to be honest. I loved The Serpent and Wings of Night. That was my only 5-star book so far this year, and I don't think this will be a 5-star, and I will explain why. I still have a good chunk of the book left though. It's just shy of 500 pages, so I still have a little ways to go. I am really enjoying it, and you're getting some answers to things at this point, which is nice. The only gripe I have with this book, and it's not really a gripe, it's just a slight annoyance, is that I do think the romance is a bit fast. I prefer much more of a slow burn when it comes to romances or romantic-y books in general. I like the yearning. I think it's more enjoyable that way. So that's my only downside to this book, and probably the only thing that would keep it from a 5-star at this point, but we'll see how the rest of it goes because there's a lot left. And there's a whole second book. I think I heard that the second book follows a different character in this story, so I don't think this specific story continues, but obviously I have no idea, so we'll see. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I really like the high stakes aspect. I like the games. I like the dialogue between the main characters. I do kind of wish you got a bit more in depth with other characters though. You kind of really only focus on the 2 main characters, the female and male main characters. There's a little bit of other people that are sprinkled throughout, and there's one character in here that her name is Lucy, I believe, and you get a little bit of her so far, and I am a little bit intrigued about her character. And I don't really care about some of the others, but I just kind of wish there was a bit more going on. Not that this book doesn't have a lot going on. There is a lot going on. I just wish there were more characters that were talked about and you get to know more in the book. It does kind of make sense though that we're not really getting too many other descriptions of characters or dialogue from other characters other than the 2 main ones, because our main character Ophelia that we follow throughout this book, she doesn't really have many friends, to say the least. Like she talks about that. She doesn't really have much of a social life. She never really has. She's kind of lived vicariously through her sister in that aspect, in the social aspect of life. So it does kind of make sense that she's not really making friends with any people that she meets. But I do kind of wish we at least saw more interaction with the other characters. But we might get that towards the end because she's starting to kind of talk to the other characters. There's some that she has a little bit of a rivalry with. You also do see that a little bit, but I think I'm on track to probably give it like a 4.5-star rating right now. I hate that I immediately think about my rating while I'm reading the book. I don't want to do that, but I almost can't help myself but think about what I'm gonna rate it. And as things happen, I'm like, oh, because this is happening, I wouldn't rate it 5 stars. And I'm thinking that as I'm reading the book, which I don't want to do. I just want to read it, and it's kind of annoying that I do that. But I have 200 pages left. I feel like I could finish this today. Oh, it's 3 o'clock? I thought it was 2 o'clock. Okay, maybe I can't finish this today. I think if I don't finish it today, I will definitely finish it tomorrow, I hope. I did read like 100 pages today at the coffee shop that I went to. It was a very cute little coffee shop. That's my reading update for now. I do want to read more today. I don't think I'll finish it. I just said that I might, but I don't know. I don't think I will. But I do think I'll hopefully finish it tomorrow. This weekend at the latest. Okay, it has been a while since I last gave an update, but I have finished Phantasma, and I have some thoughts. I did really enjoy this book. I do think it was a little bit predictable. I think the bit of a plot twist at the end, I didn't necessarily see it coming, but it also wasn't very surprising to me. There was definitely one part that was revealed at the ending that I also thought was very predictable. Like I kind of predicted that from the beginning when we met the one specific character, and the plot line was a little bit predictable as well, I would say. I still had a great time reading this book. I had so much fun reading this book. I really enjoyed, actually, you know what, the more that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, what did I enjoy? I have gripes with the book. Like I have specific things about the plot and about the characters that I dislike. But if you were to ask me specifically what it is that I enjoyed so much about this book, I don't think I can pinpoint one specific thing. I just enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed the atmosphere and the setting. Okay, yeah, I enjoyed the setting. I did really enjoy the characters in this book. That is definitely one thing that I liked. I liked the setting. I did like the plot, even though the end was kind of predictable in my opinion. I did still enjoy the actual storyline itself. I really enjoyed our main character, Ophelia. I thought she was a fun character to read about, and I really liked kind of how deep you go into her thoughts and her mind. Overall, really enjoyed it. It's a good classic games and trials romantasy novel. I had a really good time reading it. I enjoyed reading about the different trials. I kind of almost wish that we went a little bit more into the lore of Phantasma and the history of Phantasma. You do get a little taste of it because it's been around for so long, and you kind of get a little bits and pieces of the history towards the end, but I almost wish we went a little bit deeper into it. I enjoyed learning about her family. I know the next book follows Ophelia's sister, Genevieve, which I think I like Genevieve more than Ophelia, even though we only get a small taste of her in this book. I do think I'm going to really enjoy Genevieve even more than I liked this book with Ophelia. So very excited to read book 2. I will say I do have a couple things about this book that I didn't love. I still liked, but I didn't love it. I gave this a 4.25 star rating. So the reason why I didn't give it a higher rating is because I do think the romance is a bit much in this book. It's a little heavy on the romance, and not necessarily in a good way, in my opinion. I personally like romances to be a subplot of my fantasy books. I don't want it to consume the entire dialogue and plot of the book. Personally, for me, it was a little bit fast moving for me too. I enjoy more of a slow burn romance. This definitely was not that. With that being said, I think the fantasy elements of this book I did enjoy. I enjoyed the kind of magic, ghostly, ghoul, devilish, I don't really know how to describe that because it's not really a magic system. It's just the characters, the magical beings in this world. I did say before that it was reminding me of Ninth House a little bit, and that is not the case. That is not the case anymore after finishing this book. It definitely is nothing like Ninth House. The only connection is that it deals with devils and demons and hell, essentially. As much as I did enjoy the characters and as much as I did enjoy Ophelia, I do think when it came to the actual trials, I feel like we didn't let Ophelia shine. I think she is talked about as being super powerful, super intelligent, very independent, and then almost in every single trial she doesn't immediately ask for help, but she basically she meets this person who claims that he can help her throughout these different trials, and she kind of ends up leaning on him and relying on him throughout every single trial. There's a couple that she doesn't need him for, but she is able to make her own decisions and do her own trials herself, but it just kind of seems like she, I don't know, doesn't try at first, and it kind of annoyed me because she's supposed to be this strong, independent person with these powers, and I felt like they gave her too much help. It's weird for me to say that because I guess in the context of the book, it's like, oh, she needed help, but I feel like she didn't. I feel like it was just a plot point, like, oh, she's gonna get help. So that kind of annoyed me a little bit, was that she kept constantly asking for help when I don't think she needed it. It didn't take away from the story. It was just like a minor annoyance to me. So overall, I definitely think that this was an enjoyable read. It was a fun read. I read it pretty quickly, I would say. I think I read it in less than a week, but I'm really excited for the second one. And I definitely would still recommend it to people if they like this kind of fantasy book or romantasy book, but I definitely don't think it's going to be a favorite of mine. Like, I don't know if I'll reread it per se. Maybe I would. I'm not sure. One thing that this is so random, but I thought it was really funny. So I accidentally cracked the spine, which I don't really care about cracked spines, but when I did it, the page that I cracked the spine on, it was so, I don't know why, but I just thought it was so funny. There's like a little rant over here where it just says like broken, 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 broken. And that's That is the exact spot where I broke the spine. I was like, what a coincidence that I broke the spine by accident on the page that just repeats broken over and over and over again. A little spooky, to be honest with you. I thought that was kind of funny. What a coincidence that I broke it on the page that talks about being broken. Yeah, that was Phantasma. I really enjoyed filming this reading vlog. I had fun making it. I had fun reading the books, obviously. I love reading. If you did enjoy this video, definitely stay tuned for some future episodes. I definitely want to film more of them as I continue reading books on my physical TBR and getting down to 0. I don't think I actually introed this video. My goal is to read every single book on my physical TBR this year, and I don't actually have that many in retrospect. I think I started with 20 this year and I am now down to 14. It sounds so crazy that I've only read 6 off of my physical TBR. Like, that's actually insane. It's April. How come I haven't read more? Let me tell you, let me answer that. I got Libby. I finally started using Libby and downloading the books into my Kindle as well as the audiobooks, which it has been an absolute game changer for me. I have read so many library books this year because of Libby and listened to so many library books. So this was my 14th. Was this my 14th? Yeah, this was my 14th book of the year, but it was only my 6th on my physical TBR. Moving forward, I think I'm going to really start prioritizing my physical TBR books. Not that I don't think I can finish them all on top of reading library books. It's doable. I know it's doable. This is my 14th book of the year. That means that I just have to do this all again and I will finish my entire physical TBR. But I do still have library books that I want to read as well. It's okay. I will finish it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and definitely stay tuned for the next episode of this series.